Imagine being on a desolate road. Your phone loses signal, and you realize you're out of fuel. Through the thick fog, a rusty sign emerges. Blackwood. As you step inside, the metallic smell of decay that hits you isn't just the scent of an old building. It's the smell of a dinner prepared for a hungry creature beneath the earth. Thomas and Oliver stopped there that night, but only one of them remained, never to speak again. Before we dive into the depths of darkness in this chilling tale, if you enjoy these mysterious journeys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to join the Night Tales family. Also, if you have your own unexplained stories, share them with us in the comments. Now, if you're ready, let's begin. In the middle of a desolate highway, miles away from civilization, that station with its rusty sign creaking in the wind, this story tells how a moment that two friends thought was just an ordinary fuel stop turned into a nightmare with no escape. It was well past midnight. Thomas, behind the wheel of the old Jeep, was struggling to keep his eyes open from exhaustion. Sitting in the passenger seat, Oliver crumpled the map in his hands and threw it aside in frustration. "I told you we shouldn't. Take the shortcut, Thomas. The GPS hasn't had a signal for half an hour." Just as Thomas was about to respond, a pale, flickering light appeared through the fog. The sign that read Blackwood Fuel Rest Stop groaned with every gust of wind, as if it were in pain. The station looked as if it had been frozen in the 1950s. Peeling pumps, dirty windows, and endless pine forests surrounding it. They pulled the car next to the pump. When Thomas turned off the engine, the silence that followed was more disturbing than the noise of the motor. When they stepped outside, the air was filled with an unexpected metallic smell of rust and decaying leaves. "Is anyone here?" Oliver called out. An old man stepped out slowly from inside the market. His work overalls were so greasy and dirty that it was impossible to tell their original color. His right eye was completely covered with a white film, while the other examined Thomas and Oliver as if they were objects. "Fill it up," Thomas said, pulling some money from his pocket. As the man took the money, his fingers touched Thomas's hand. They were ice cold. It felt as if he had touched not a human, but a marble statue. Without saying a word, the old man inserted the pump and slowly returned to the market. Oliver went into the market to grab something to eat. Inside was dark. Only a single fluorescent light flickered as if it were dying. The canned goods on the shelves were covered in a thick layer of dust. As Oliver grabbed a bottle of water from the fridge, he saw something in the reflection of the lid. From the gap of the dark office door at the back, at least 3 pairs of eyes were staring at him. These were not monster eyes. They were the eyes of the elderly, a child, and a woman, widened with fear. But the strange thing was this: the eyes did not blink. Oliver slowly walked toward the office. When he gently pushed the door open, the smell that hit him nearly made him vomit. Inside, 3 people were tied to chairs, their mouths sewn shut. They were alive. Their chests rose and fell rapidly, but their eyes held nothing but endless terror. There were no wounds on their bodies. They simply sat there, motionless. Meanwhile, outside, Thomas, waiting by the pump, noticed something strange. What was flowing into the tank was not gasoline. The liquid passing through the transparent gauge of the pump was pitch black, dense, and thick. This substance, leaking onto the ground beneath the car, began to crawl toward Thomas's boots as if it were alive. "Oliver, we need to get out of here now," Thomas shouted. Oliver rushed out of the market, but the door was locked from the inside. The old man appeared from within the shadows on the other side of the market. In his hand, he held a leather-covered amulet, marked with strange symbols. "They didn't want to leave," the old man said, his voice rasping as if his throat were filled with shards of glass. "The Earth wanted them. The Earth always wants us all. When the man raised the amulet into the air, a massive tremor came from beneath the ground. The concrete under the gas station began to crack. From the cracks rose a groan that froze the blood. This was not the voice of a ghost. It was the sound of a thing that had been trapped beneath the earth for hundreds of years, starved. Thomas tried to get into the car, but the black liquid had already climbed up to his knees. The moment it touched his skin, it began to burn. "This isn't gasoline," he shouted. This is something alive." The liquid began to enter Thomas's mouth and nose. Rather than physical pain, Thomas felt his soul slowly being drained. The amulet in the old man's hand glowed rhythmically with Thomas's struggles. This was not a spell. It was a sacrifice offered to an ancient entity. A feast had begun for the most silent and dangerous of Jinn the dwellers beneath the earth. Oliver tried to break the glass, but it felt as if it were made of steel. The three silent people inside the market suddenly turned their gaze toward him. Despite their sewn mouths, they all whispered in unison inside Oliver's mind. "Your turn. You will stand like us. You will wait until the spark ignites." The old man pulled an old lighter from his pocket. "When the earth is full, fire cleanses," he said. He dropped the lighter onto the black liquid, but the expected explosion did not happen. Instead of burning the liquid, the fire became trapped inside it. The liquid suddenly turned into a glowing ember-like color and completely engulfed Thomas. His scream lasted only a second. His body instantly turned to charcoal, but his soul remained trapped within that black substance, writhing in agony. Oliver collapsed to his knees inside the market. The old man entered, preparing the needle and thick black thread in his hand. He smiled as he looked into Oliver's eyes. "Now we have a new guardian for mile 45, he said. The next morning, when the sun rose, the Blackwood gas station was as silent as ever. The sign continued to creak as it turned in the wind. Inside the market, in the office room, there were now 4 chairs. The new man sat with his eyes open, his mouth tightly sewn shut. A family passing by stopped at the station to refuel. When the little child stepped out of the car and approached the window of the market, he saw the man inside looking at him and crying. But the man did not move at all. Only a black tear was streaming down from his eyes.